you're a product manager or budding entrepreneur with the next big thing, Hatching Your $1,000,000 Business will walk you through the steps necessary to discover if your concept is marketable and potentially profitable. The process in this book is based on the same principles taught to MBAs at leading business schools, but organized in a way anyone can understand. Simple worksheets will help you effectively generate, screen, and develop your idea. Don't blunder along hoping for the best. Get prepared with the knowledge necessary for a successful launch and to professionally communicate and defend your project. Discover the answers you'll need to find your market, position your product or service, attract investors, and guide you toward hatching your $1,000,000 business. Available now at Amazon.com in paperback or immediately as a Kindle download.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I've been working with entrepreneurs for years, from high tech to low tech, from large companies to small companies. My background is rather eclectic. I was a athletic coach at the college level. I went to graduate school at the University of Chicago. I actually coached in a new products lab at Chicago, and I was also the associate dean of the business school at the University of Chicago. Not exactly the direct path one would expect for somebody who started out as a coach. Hey, coaching is a fabulous thing, particularly coaching people who have come to you with new ideas and really want to see something happen with that idea. There's nothing more fun than helping somebody take their idea and move it on to the next phase. I guess you may want to call that entrepreneurship, but sometimes it's someone who just really has a really interesting idea. That all played very well into the things that I actually did at Chicago, the coaching piece. It's a bit like being an entrepreneur. If you've ever been a coach on a Saturday afternoon, you go in with a game plan, but that plan changes usually almost immediately upon the kickoff, and things rapidly change. What I worked on at Chicago is I helped in a class called the New Products Laboratory. And these were classes done in real time, on real projects for real corporations, and it all had to do with being an entrepreneur, creating new ideas, new business services, and new products. I then took that format and used it with entrepreneurs, single entrepreneurs, small teams of entrepreneurs, and used that over the years to help them take their basic idea and to create businesses from those. What I learned there was really how to be an entrepreneur, how to take what you have and create something that's really quite valuable. If you're interested in entrepreneurship and you think you have an idea, that's just barely the beginning of what has to happen. There is an entire process that you really have to follow if you want to be successful. Remember, you're making a bet when you do this. You're betting your time, your resources, part of your life to get this done. So before you just jump into something, one really has to know what one wants to get out of this and whether you're really the person to do this. You may or may not have the right personality to get this done. You may or may not have the resources to get it done. You may not have the right connections. So is this something that really fits you? Better know that for sure, because it would be painful to go through 7 years and then decide that, oops, this isn't me, because that's a very expensive journey if you go that route. On the other hand, if it's very successful, it can be a very profitable journey. There's nothing better than owning your own business. There's nothing better than being involved in the ideation process and getting that feel of new and creative juices flowing. There's nothing better than seeing your product go from an idea to reality. And then there's always the challenge of, now that I've done that, now what? Because sometimes people have a tendency to drift back off and lose focus at that point. So you have to know who you are and where you fit best. Maybe you're someone who develops the ideas, get it going, and your exit strategy is to sell it as quickly as possible so you can go off and do something else. However, if you're someone who really likes to develop something and then run it for a long time, that's a whole different approach to how one would go about this. None of this is easy. Flexibility is important. Time is also never on your side, although it always takes much longer than you think it's going to take. Entrepreneurship is true work in every sense. It is not just the hard work of sweat, but it's also the mental work of being totally focused to try to reach your goal. Nothing is easy about any of that. There's fun in working with the ideas. It's fun with working with people with those ideas, and there is a process that they need to go through in order to create a really solid business concept. Having an idea is one thing. Having a solid business concept is another. The journey can be wild and crazy for someone who's not prepared for such a journey, because once you're on this journey, life changes. You change, and everything changes with you. Your emotions going in are going to be very different than they will be at different phases of the process. This can be a wild ride, and some people refer to it as the business of whitewater. Sometimes it's more like a waterfall, and you're up and down and through. So for someone who goes through this journey, they have to understand all the stages that one takes to get from the beginning to the end.
Mabuhay! Welcome to Merla's Kitchen. My name is Lenny, and I'm Merla's daughter. And Merla is the cook, and you'll find her back there cooking 24/7. So when you come to Merla's, you'll be getting some Filipino home cooking like your grandmother's cooking. Everybody seems to love her food. She's famous for empanadas and chicken adobo. My mom's Merla's empanada is best in Chicago because it's fresh and handmade to order. Her version is a lot more meat than dough. Other countries, there's a lot more dough, less meat. So when you try Merla's empanadas, you'll be addicted to it. Every entree is handmade. Every lumpia, siopao, everything is handmade by Merla. Come by anytime. We're here Monday through Friday and Saturday, but we're closed on Sundays. But if you'd like to order some catering, party trays, we'll definitely open up the kitchen for you on Sundays. Merla's Kitchen is located off the corner of Foster and Kimball. We have a comfortable dining room that you can dine in, or you can have a carry-out.
Hello, welcome to Merla's Kitchen.
Entrepreneurship is really an exciting topic, and some people look at it from a purely theoretical point of view. Entrepreneurship is, in another sense, is not a spectator sport. If you're really going to get into this, you really have to get totally involved. That means you as a person are totally involved and totally into whatever you're going to try to create. You have to become really one with whatever you're trying to build. There's nothing easy about this. There's nothing fast about this. Working with entrepreneurs over time, it's always interesting to see the different personalities. Everybody always says, well, there's a certain personality. Well, not really. There are certain characteristics that help in moving into this entrepreneurial world. One has to be that you don't believe you can get beat. No matter what, you have to be able to keep your head up and drive forward, even when people are telling you you're out of your mind. And maybe you are out of your mind at some point, but the truth is you really have to drive forward. You have to have that want to win, because the obstacles that will be thrown in your way during the entrepreneurial journey are significant. And sometimes they start with yourself, getting in your own way and trying to get things done. And then there's always the challenges of, do I have the right things in multiple dimensions? Do I have the right resources? Do I have the right financing to get this moving? Do I have the right team? Do I have someone I really trust that has a different skill set than myself that can help move this forward in the beginning stages? Am I flexible enough that if roadblock is thrown up that I did not expect, can I work my way around that roadblock? Can I get past that thing? And maybe my idea in the beginning was great, but now I realize I have to change it. Are you flexible enough to make that change? Are you hardcore enough to push through when everybody says, I don't think this is quite going to work that way? Can you make it to the next stage and push through? The journey is always a test, and you will be tested every inch of the way. There are unexpected turns and twists. There's lots of detail involved in trying to create a business idea. Having an idea is just not enough. It's being able to figure out what that idea and how it translates to other people. Will they see your idea the same way you see it? Maybe, maybe not. And if they don't see it your way, how do you change that to make sure it works? You know, if you have a market of one, that's not going to be enough to keep you going. You need to create a market with a significant number of people in it. You have to address their needs and wants. And that's the challenge of always making sure that there's enough of a market. I've seen lots of ideas. We tested one day that was really pretty interesting idea. The problem was when it was tested with the group, the people kept saying, I'll use it on special occasions. Well, how often is that special occasion? Well, it turned out once a year. That's not a business. When someone's going to use it once a year, you have to figure out something else to do with it. I've been in a case where we actually had an idea that we thought was pretty fabulous, and we were in a cab going across town, and we were going to present this idea to this group that was going to finance it. And in the cab ride on the way over, another firm announced the exact same product we were about to go demonstrate. We just happened to have Plan B with us. So we were able to drop back and present Plan B, which was a little different, but it still was different enough that it was also considered new. The message here is that you have to be all flexible and prepared. Everyone always asks me, what's the point where something great happens? I see these other people who are successful. I don't get it. It seems like I know as much as they do. I've done everything right. So they're successful. What's the magic sauce? Well, the magic sauce is being prepared and having the time hit at the exact point, so that being prepared and the opportunity meet, that's where you have to be. So preparation is the key part.
Do you have a great product or service idea that you can't wait to turn into a successful new business? Is it time for you to be your own boss and take control of your own life and your own destiny? The Start Your Business Now online course will walk you through each and every planning decision you'll need to make in order to successfully launch your new business. The course presents an updated, step-by-step, proven business planning process used by more than 4,000 entrepreneurs, helping them launch all types of professional, service, retail, manufacturing, and online businesses. You'll learn the skills required and be provided with appropriate resources to develop a customized management process that will guide the operational, marketing, financial, and legal aspects of running your profitable enterprise. Once you enroll, you will immediately get easy-to-follow downloadable planning worksheets with dozens of insider tips and useful resources available at the click of a mouse. We won't leave you stranded. Every 2 weeks, you'll be invited to join Jeff Williams, the course creator, for his live Business Booster telecoaching sessions, where you receive quick answers to your business planning questions, allowing you to move faster and more effectively toward the goal of beginning your own business. Don't delay your future any longer. Begin by visiting bizstarters.com to sign up for the e-course or download your free business evaluation checklist and prepare to start your business now.
Let's talk about process a little bit here. It is incredibly important, especially if you've never done this before, to follow a process. And the reason for that is you can then go back and track what you did and did not do. So if there's any question that comes up along the journey, you can go back and say, well, I did this, and I did this, and I did this. And there are phases that you do this in. So let's talk about which phases. There is, let's create the project statement phase. Let's get that done first, because that's going to be our guide for everything else. Then there's the ideation phase. And usually when you're doing idea generation and creation, you don't have fully thought out ideas. What you get is proto-ideas, little pieces of ideas. Those then are usually combined into a bigger piece, and then you have kind of a complete idea but not a concept. The next phase is to build that into a concept. So what's a concept? Well, a concept is, what is it? How does it work? Who benefits from it? Those are really the key questions. What is it? How does it work? Who benefits? And why? And by the way, it doesn't matter if you benefit. It's the end user that has the benefit from this thing. So that's really what you start doing as a concept statement. And then eventually you fill out that into a very complete statement. In the beginning, there's less. It can be sort of sketchy. But as you move into it, you have to develop it more, so that it really fills out and answers questions, because you're going to use that concept statement then to go test this with people in the market to see if your idea is any good. If that concept statement's not good, or it doesn't translate from what you're trying to say into what the group understands, the people understand, you've got a problem. So you got to make sure that that translation is good. So from concept, for skinny concept, to full concept, and then from the concept to testing, then you're going to do market testing with this. And if you're a single person with a small budget, it's going to be lunch testing. And the keys there is to testing is always has to be said, the questions have to be asked in the same way. The presentation has to be the same. If you give them a handout, it has to be the same. And probably most importantly for you, if someone who knows everything about this, is you have to act like you know nothing about it, because you really want their input, not your input. So you can't guide or push people along. So then there's the testing phase. After the testing phase with the concept, you may, depending on what you're trying to do, you may have to actually develop a working model. And sometimes these can be very expensive. So things that come close to it may work. In some cases, you have to build a real model. In one case, we worked on a project was a window washing machine that you actually pushed out underneath the window, and it had a gizmo in it that would make it work, clean the window from the inside, even though you're cleaning. Well, the problem was trying to explain that to somebody, nobody got it. So basically, it never happened. There are other concepts that scare people to death. This is a while ago, but we worked on a project where it was a lawnmower that was computer guided, basically had a chip in it, and it would learn how to cut your grass. Now, this was before the ones that actually exist today, and no one trusted the computer that it could not run over the cat. So you had to watch, though you have to look for those sorts of things. Once you've actually tested or modeled it, if you can have a real, true working model, that's the best test. But those are expensive, so you really want to build through those other phases first before you try to build a real working model. Working models then can be taken out and tested in where they're going to be used. And that gets a lot of good information, but usually it's very expensive to do. But that's the last phase. Once you pass all those tests, then you probably have yourself a product that can then be launched. But then, again, you need to make sure you've gathered all your information at each one of these stages. And if you've done a really good job of that, writing the business plan should be pretty easy. Hatching your $1 million business was developed from my experiences working with entrepreneurs and companies over time. It can answer a lot of the questions you have. It gives you the guides, the tools, the practice exercises that you really need to know. What I found in writing this book was that it cannot give you everything. There's no way to give you the nuances that you may face in a project you're taking on, because they are so different in a lot of cases. Everybody looks and feels and sees different things happening to them during the process of creating an idea. It's not easy. and it's never quite the same. But I've tried to capture the major points of things that you will need to know and be able to do in order to take a very beginning idea into a full business concept. Feeling stuck sometimes? That's going to happen along this journey. There are a lot of times when you're going to hit obstacles that you go, oh my God, now what do I do? Or I am just worn out. Well, that's what I'm here to help with. Coaching is key in some of those places. You get those stuck points, there's nothing better to be able to talk to somebody about working your way through those places. It's important, though, that that person makes sure that you understand you own the project. It's not their project, it's your project, and it's for you to develop. You need to own it, you need to understand it. When you're standing there in front of the sharks, being your pitch, the consultant's not going to be standing there with you or your coach. You're going to have to understand every piece of this yourself. So it is really important that, one, you struggle with these things, but two, that you help get answered and you don't get stuck for too long so you can move this along in a timely manner. So a little coaching, a little pushing, sometimes we can be there to help you get that done. You know, it's really exciting to start your own business. It's really fulfilling. And a lot of times it's not about the money, it's about what you're able to do for somebody else or for something. It's that excitement of going, wow, we really got that done, or wow, we got it done together. It's that, it is the wow factor in a sense, the absolute, I couldn't believe I did it, but I did, and it's so much fun that I'm just gonna do that again, and I hope I can do that every day. That's a lot different than showing up to work saying, oh my God, I gotta do that stupid thing over. When you're doing something you love and you're doing it with people you like doing it with, there is nothing better than that. And those are peak experiences. They're hard to come by, but you possibly can create your own on a pretty consistent basis if you do have your own business. Hatching your $1 million business is a way for you to get started on that journey. It gives you the basic information, the basic tools to develop that idea, that kernel into a full concept and then into a business. If along the journey you need a little help along the way to get over those spots where you may get a little stuck, we're here to help you. I'm here to help you. The most important thing that you should remember is today's the most important day you face, because today is the day you can start your entrepreneurial journey. It's you who are putting it off, so get with it. The most important thing is to start today to accomplish your goal.
If you're a product manager or budding entrepreneur with the next big thing, hatching your $1 million business will walk you through the steps necessary to discover if your concept is marketable and potentially profitable. The process in this book is based on the same principles taught to MBAs at leading business schools, but organized in a way anyone can understand. Simple worksheets will help you effectively generate, screen, and develop your idea. Don't blunder along hoping for the best. Get prepared with the knowledge necessary for a successful launch and to professionally communicate and defend your project. Discover the answers you'll need to find your market, position your product or service, attract investors, and guide you toward hatching your $1 million business. Available now at Amazon.com in paperback or immediately as a Kindle download.
Hi, my name is Reno Levison, and this course is intended for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and small business owners who generally don't take the time to get too formal when it comes to business planning. I think it's important to understand who your ideal customer is, who your current client base is, so that you can make better marketing and communication choices that will grow your business more quickly and take you in the direction you mean to go. This course is ideal for both online and offline product or service providers who want to grow their business through word-of-mouth referrals, social media campaigns, traditional advertising, or targeted communications. Targeting your audience reduces costs and increases effectiveness because you're no longer using a shotgun or scattershot approach and hoping for the best. Ideally, you want to reach individuals who you know want to buy your product or service. To hit that target, you need to understand who they are and how to reach them. Then you could measure your communication and marketing efforts based on how well they promise to meet that objective. When we're growing our business, we're just happy to have a paying client. But are they really the clients we want? Either way, this course will help you identify the difference between your typical client and your ideal client and help guide your future success. Whether you're a seasoned marketer or a beginning entrepreneur, if you haven't done this exercise recently, you're just wandering in a minefield hoping for the best. Take aim and start targeting the clients you really want.
Hellfire and Damnation 3 by Connie Corcoran Wilson follows the signs, symbols, and a descent into darkness as she takes you on another tour of the 9 circles of hell described in Dante's Inferno. 5-time Bram Stoker winner Gary Brombeck said, "This is another impressive collection of tales." Hellfire and Damnation 3 picks up where the first 2 collections of short stories left off, exploring the sins or crimes punished at each of the 9 circles of hell. Wilson will not only keep you up late nights reading, but might also keep you up long after you've stopped reading. Get Hellfire and Damnation 3 by Connie Corcoran Wilson today, if you dare.
Small Business Essential Web Video. Web video is possibly the most important marketing communication tool available today. Your business should have an essential video on your website that says who you are, what you do, and why people should do it with you. Potential clients do not want to work hard to understand your message. The average visitor to your website spends about 10 seconds to decide whether they're in the right place or not. Ideally, they want somebody to show and tell them very quickly if they're in the right place. Remember, you're using pictures and sound, so you can cram a lot of information into 1 minute, or even 30 seconds when it's done right. If you're a do-it-yourself type of business owner, the technology is certainly available to you, but a video production marketing professional can provide expertise that will likely give you a more polished and effective presentation. RenoWeb.net can help you produce videos that are right for you. Contact us. For more information, go to RenoWeb.net.